Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a flesh and blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Darick and Logan.
Well, we're recording now, so you can hit the whatever you want to. But, hello.
Salt is a way of life.
I was going to say hit the mute button, but then you said I could hit whatever I wanted.
I did. That's on me. But hello, and welcome to episode 217 of Flesh and Pod. My name's Logan. I'm your host, and Darick's hitting whatever he wants to. So, you got anything else?
Yeah, I have the longer version.
Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.
Like, why? Why do you have the long version?
Because sometimes you're so salty, you need to take a break, and that gives you a longer break. It's like when you play the long song. It's like when you play Bohemian Rhapsody when you need to use the restroom as a DJ.
Oh, right. Or the 8-minute guitar solo, November Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But
or any Sleep Token song.
Or any Rush song. Well, again, we're a Flesh and Blood podcast, allegedly. But yeah, how have you been? You've been not feeling well.
No.
Did you play Flesh and Blood at all?
No, I didn't play anything. I was originally really excited because I was supposed to have like every day open last week to go play stuff. But then people in my house weren't feeling well. There was an outbreak. Man, was it even this week? I think it was this week. It's all a blur. I know that there was an outbreak at the school that my youngest son attends, that Sophie works at. And the health department had to like even send out like a notice about it. I guess this was last week now that I'm thinking about it, because today is Monday, right? So it was last week. But like one of the days, legitimately, my wife texted me and she said that there were 86 kids out and there's only like 400 in the building. So okay, it's just going around. Monroe hasn't been feeling well. He actually has developed what we believe to be like a nasal polyp because he's got like this huge swelling on the inside of one side. It's something that, if you're not familiar, like you can develop them if you have allergies or asthma or whatever. Poor kid has like everything that checks the box for these things. So like sometimes it happens. It's thankfully not causing him like a ton of discomfort, but we've been trying to keep an eye on that, and everything's just blah. So I promise that I am more enthused that I am going to come off this episode. And I was thinking about it yesterday when I was messaging you that I wasn't going to be able to record. I feel extra bad that I'm extra blah right now, because given the state of the world, I feel like people could really use some escapism, and I wanted to be like extra upbeat and funny, and instead you get just normal me. So
I get Eeyore. Great.
Oh, well, I'll find it later.
Oh, well, I did play Flesh and Blood, allegedly. So I got scared off. I went and played in an RTN, allegedly. I got scared off by the Fatiguities list. So I didn't play Kasai, because that matchup is abysmal. If you don't make 6 sellswords, you lose. That's it. And I didn't want to deal with that, knowing that there were going to be somewhere between 4 and 6 of those decks in the room, and there were at least that many, and 3 or 4 of the top 8 was Fatiguities.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I made the decision to play Dom's Valda list.
Oh, I'm sorry. I could have told you that's probably not like great into that matchup either.
That's fine in that matchup, but I never played that matchup.
Oh, well.
Instead,
I mean, it's fine, but it's not great, I guess is what I was trying to say.
Fine is all I was looking for.
But also, like, of course you're not going to run into it. Like, that's how it works. I
prepped and yeah. I made a decision. And so my first matchup was against my car mate on Ira, my buddy Josh. And he has gotten exceptionally good at that deck in a very short amount of time. And I'm also a coward, it turns out, because he's on a turn where he's on a dual threat turn. I sort of have a panic moment, and I use quick dodge to cover up 4 damage. When I should have just taken all of it and then sent a dominated, put them in their place for 11 with a Terra Sunder on it and pummeled it. They should have done that one and just accepted all damage.
You should have accepted all damage and done at least 2/3 of that. I unless the game is approaching like health totals where just the extra damage matters.
We were in that spot.
Okay, I was going to say I rarely like doing a pummel on top of a Terra Sunder just because you're already doing enough disruption, so saving the other one for the next turn, especially after a put them in their place, because put them in their place is also part of what I call like the cycle starter for Volda, where you get, ideally, didn't happen to me because reasons, but ideally you get into a situation where the first put them in your place starts generating you the seismics for you to kind of continue rolling forward, right? It's very akin to like when you get your first crippling crush in Bravo, and the combination of the disruption and whatever means that the next turn you can pay for the dominate, and the next turn, right? Like you keep pushing. And so your put them in their places are like super important, and it makes sense, it's a specialization, right? But it's super important with Volda, so like, yeah, you probably should have eaten it.
Yeah,
that's the short version. You probably should have eaten it.
And then we went from that, and then the cycle of opponents I played were Verdance, Fang, Verdance, Vincent.
Okay. You are very close to what my calling experience on Volda was.
And Syndra.
I had a Katsu instead, but you are very close to
So I went 1-5.
Very close to my calling experience.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah. It turns out there's some polarizing matchups in there.
Yeah.
Oops. I did have the fun Pleiades list to play, but for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Ellie Bird on Flesh and Bad this week, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Deck is unreal and mad scientist crazy shit, so you should definitely look at it, and it's fun to play. I just didn't have any time to get enough reps to even feel remotely comfortable, which is weird because I played Volda with 0 reps. So honestly, I just wasn't in my right mind. I was just like, you know what? I don't like any of this. I definitely, Mario would have been great. KO Armed and Dangerous would have been great.
Because Mario is poorly named because he's killing folks like Luigi, it seems.
I see what you did there. Is that how you're trying to be lighthearted today?
Yeah.
You're failing upwards, sir.
Love you.
Love you too. But and so that matchup spread, I was just told, oh well, that's abysmal. Like, great. And I was trying to look at what was giving the Fatiguities lists fits, and it turned out like KO, Armed and Dangerous, was doing a great job just because big number. And then Mario's were doing okay into it. So there was counterplay to it. I just despise the deck for existing. It is miserable.
It is definitely a slog. But I still, this is a hot take, but I still would rather play into that than I would the old, like, whatever it was, 20 defense reaction enigmas that floated around for a bit.
Sure. But When you're blocking, when you're call for backuping 3 times, remembrancing back your call for backups, doing it again, remembrancing back your hostile encroachments, putting on a pedestal your hostile encroachment, like it's just
it's
miserable. And I don't know, like that's the type of thing that I think is sort of what turns people off of playing the game sometimes, where they're just looking at that being, if it's any share of a meta, and just being like, I will just take this season off, I guess. But I don't know. Like I think that's how a lot of people end up feeling, which is not what we want. We want to play more Flesh and Blood, not less. And we get to do that because now, to go along with a lot of the offerings that are out there that are not, well, we don't have enough non-World Tour events in my mind. We just don't. AGE's done a good job of starting to fill that gap a little bit. There's still a lot to do. And thankfully now, Nerd Rage Gaming is stepping up and doing something about it. And they're putting on, they're now going to be running Flesh and Blood events, which is awesome. If you're not familiar with Nerd Rage, they've been doing Magic events for well over a decade now. I used to vend at some of them for the old group I used to work with. I've known Norman for quite a while. They run really clean events. They're really well done. And I'm very, very happy that they're going to start running Flesh and Blood. And the first one they're doing is March 13th through 15th in Elmhurst, Illinois, which is effectively Chicago, northern suburbs. They'll have a 5K. So basically what would be a showdown on Saturday. And so that's going to be Silver Age. So 2 PTIs, gold foil to the winner, the whole ball of wax, just a full-on showdown. And then on Sunday, they'll be running a Classic Constructed Pro Quest, and it's all online. Like, so right now you can register for it. You go to nrgevents.gg, and it'll be there. I'll put the link in the show notes so everybody can see it. But, and we'll be there. I'll be there, and Darick will say he'll be there, and we'll flip a coin to find out if he's showing up. But for me, this is like a very big step in the right direction for non-World Tour Flesh and Blood in my mind, because right now, you go in between seasons, and we've got some other things that we've been talking to other people about that we'll bringing up in future shows as well. But right now, we're at this spot where when there's gaps in the seasons, people are starved to play. They just want to get out there and do the thing. And more Flesh and Blood is better than less Flesh and Blood. And so we see a tournament organizer, especially one with a insane amount of experience in the field, that runs top-notch events, that puts players first, that does all the right things. That's a huge win in my mind for our community. And we definitely need to be supporting this, same as we need to be supporting AGE and everyone else. So we will be talking about this event, right up to it. We've also, they were gracious enough to offer us the ability to give away entry to the events. So we'll be running a giveaway for entry as well. I just got to find out what sadistic thing I want to put you people through this time. It's been a while since I got to do it.
That is completely opposite what I was going to do. I was going to entice people to go by saying that this place, Elmhurst, I looked it up while you were talking. It is only 30 minutes away from Three Little Pigs, which is amazing restaurant that you and I have hyped up in the past. So,
my guy, we can go get 3LP.
3LP.
Oh,
yeah,
my
you
God.
know me. That's gonna be a thing.
I'm eating 3LP. Like I will drive down to go get 3LP 100%.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
Google Maps says 29 minutes, and that's
right in the wheelhouse,
worth
babe.
It. Yep.
That's yep. We're gonna go get some 3LP. That's gonna happen. That fried rice. I've had dreams about that fried rice.
Yep. The rice and the rangoons are,
and the lemonade.
Oh yeah,
the lemonade was so good. He's like, I hope it's not too sweet. I'm like, this perfect elixir you put in front of me? I don't like sugary drinks. This was tart, right to the tongue. It was nectar of the gods. I was 10 of 10. Just perfect lemonade.
You can tell where my priorities are. You were like, hey, cool event in Elmhurst. I'm like, how far is that away from Bridgeport?
How close does that get us to Bridgeport? So no, I'm with you. I mean, I want some 3LP, but we can do both. We can go and support Nerd Rage.
Yeah.
Do cool things. If you're thinking, even if you're kind of like, you don't want 2 days of Fab and you want to instead play a day of Riftbound, that's there too. And so there's stuff for everybody. But there's also 3LP 29 minutes away. And if we take over their entire restaurant and the owner's there, he'll probably just hang out with us the whole time.
He was a really cool dude.
He was a really cool dude. But the big takeaway from this is I think that it's important that we support when the independent tournament organizers are doing stuff like this. I also think we should so making sure if there's an AG event near you and you're able to go. Make sure that these organizers know that the market is there and the hunger is there for Fab players to come out and be able to play. So, like I said, I'll be talking about this every week for the next 2 months or month and a half or whatever leading up to it. And then also I'll be giving away entry. So stay tuned to our social media, maybe listen to the show, maybe join our Discord, things like that are good ways to figure out how we're going to give this away. But there was also Flesh and Blood played this week. There was a Battle Hardened in Belgium and Charleroi, I have no idea how to say that. I should put this through like Google Translate. I know it's Belgium.
Charleroi?
Charleroi? Sounds great.
I mean, that would be my attempt. I don't know. That's my best guess.
I'm sure that we're going to get blitzed by one of our Euro listeners on this one.
Yeah, and
Dorte's going to eat us alive.
I'm probably only saying it that way because there's a place here in Michigan that's similarly spelled that's Charlevoix instead of Charleroi. So like if that R were a V, it would literally be a place here in Michigan, but
it was definitely not a place in Michigan.
No.
But this was won by Paul Van Giesel on Marionette. He's been on a heater. This is like his third event that he's either won or been in like top 2 of recently. So congrats.
Well, that's my boy, Paul Van Diesel.
Diesel. Big Daddy Cool, Paul Van Diesel. The top 8 of this event was 4 marionettes, a Verdance, a Prism, a Syndra, and a Gravy Bones. Again, I want to make sure that we are tempering expectations a little bit when it comes to regional events, because things go wildly different in other places, like Battle Hard in Portland, where Michael Fang went on Gravy Bones because reasons. And this top 8 was 2 Gravy Bones, 2 KO Armed and Dangerous, a Syndra, a Vincent, a Jarl, and a Verdance. So no marionettes, because I guess they were all playing in Belgium, maybe. And my takeaway here is this tells us we have a healthy meta in my mind. But again, we're talking about localized and regionalized events. I'm wondering, because last I looked, and maybe it's been updated now, they had not updated for RTNs, the Living Legend, or put out the results. So doesn't look like maybe they still haven't, because this still looks like the same. So the top of the leaderboard is now KO Armed and Dangerous after Florian went away. and he's at 936. He's not lasting long. Prism is 863. Good riddance. Verdance is at 839 and has got 609 points this season alone. So Verdance is in the fast lane to get out of here. Syndra is too. Syndra's at 736 and has lived most of her existence as a 0.5x hero. And she goes to 1x in basically 3 weeks. So as soon as that happens, she's just going to rocket up the charts too. Because if you gave her 1x for her entire Super Slam season, she'd have 714 points in this season alone. So she's not going to be long for this world either. Beyond that, everything's kind of like status quo. Your 0-pointers are our boy Bravo, our girl Uzuri, Teklovas and Esteemed Magnate, Olympia prized fighter. Betsy Skin in the game does have points. And Tough Nut has not put up a result yet.
Not
Poor
enough
Tough
rock.
Nut. No. I guess Dorte just hasn't played in anything because he's been rocking the Tough Nut pretty hard. So the Hammer's getting some run today. He's been brought up twice now. So good for him.
Hey, if you're listening, El Dorte, a friend of mine who's a musician is going to be starting his European tour soon, and he's going to make a stop in Switzerland. So if you would like some good music,
is it Sean James?
It is Sean James. Yeah.
Shocking.
I know.
Have you ever stopped pimping Sean James?
No, and I don't think I will.
No, it doesn't seem like you ever would. It's very much. Oh Jesus.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes my wife, I know this is a shock. Sometimes my wife actually watches the show, so I'm going to shut my mouth, but I'll tell you some other cool stuff. And if we do the next After Dark, just remind me and I will share with other folks, but I'm working on sending him some stuff. It'll be kind of cool.
That's cool. So what's your take?
Also, Heiner, if you're listening, he's got stops in Germany too. So you and the rest of the crew.
Yeah. Heiner is a music fan in general, I'm pretty sure, but he is definitely a metalhead. So there is that. That's not exactly Sean's wheelhouse. So
no.
But regardless, you see these results, do you think there's even a takeaway in this? Especially we have Compendium in rapidly coming short amount of time.
I think the current takeaway is pretty straightforward, if I'm being honest, which is anytime that we either have a new set or we have balance adjustments. In fact, I would argue it probably is more relevant post balance adjustments than it is a new set, because that's like a whole card pool to contend with. But historically, when we get a round of bans and things like that, the people that have experience with a deck are just the ones who start performing well. I'm looking at the results, and because they're so varied, it's to me signaling that these are either specialists or, I don't know if I could call Michael Fang a specialist of anything other than, say, Flesh and Blood, but I know he's put in the time on Gravy, right? I know he's got probably thousands of games at this point on Gravy, so makes sense, right? That's my takeaway. We continue to see some pretty varied top eights from event to event to event, and sometimes it looks dire, where, like you said, we'll see 4 marionettes in one, and you're like, oh no, is that a sign? And then literally the other event is there's no marionettes, and
right.
That's the recurring theme, is sometimes decks run hot and sometimes they don't, and that's probably more to do with the pilot than the deck, would be my guess right now.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. Especially in seasons where there are also RTNs or pro quests. because events like this, like Battle Hardens, there's going to potentially be less travel because people have local events to go to. So the people who are traveling are the people who are specialists with decks or who have a lot of hours in on decks. So I think there's a lot of truth to the people who do well, normally are the ones we see towards the top. Paul Van Giesel, Michael Fang, like these are names of people we know. And if I remember correctly, Brody won the ProQuest Plus on Sunday in Portland. So it's likely that regionality, localization, and then also the season plays a big part. But if you were to go to an RTN tomorrow, knowing what you know, you're experiencing Columbus, what would you play? And don't say Valda because it's a lie.
So, for me, it would probably still be between Huntsman and Mario. I think it would probably just be like a daytime decision for how I was feeling. I have more reps on Huntsman than I do on Mario. I think Mario is a significantly better deck, though. So it would probably just depend. If I did play Huntsman, I would be back to my version that I just feel more comfortable with. But
yeah.
Or, you know what? Maybe I just play Bravo.
Sure. But I think that Huntsman's actually good.
No, I think Huntsman is good. It's just, again, that's why I say it would probably depend on how I was feeling like the night before or whatever. And the reason is just because I think Huntsman is good, but you have to know that if you're going to take it, especially the version I play, then you are committing to incredibly long rounds. Like, I'm not saying you're going to the time limit every round, but you should expect to be close to it. It has to be something that you are.
So you're looking to grind.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is personally the best way to play Huntsman. There are some offensive burst opportunities, but the hero, first of all, just the hero text, we often talk about how I believe you have to get physical reps in with any deck that you're playing.
Great.
And as much as you play on Talishar and whatever, there's a lot of shortcuts and things that you don't kind of take account for. And Huntsman, I think, is a great example of that, because playing Huntsman with other people, and specifically people you don't know every round, is in and of itself already a bit of a journey, because every time you play a contract, they have to show you a card, right? And so even if you're playing physical with paper, if it's your playtesting group, they all get used to it, and they get into this habit of they'll just flip up the top card of their deck and I'll just say yes or no and you move on, right? But a lot of times in my experience, it takes quite a few turns before players get to that point if it's their first time playing against Huntsman in a long time. In some cases, it's their first time playing against them at all. So not only are you playing for fatigue with a grind, not only do you have a built-in bookkeeping mechanic, and I'm not even talking about tunic counters and whatever. Those are all still there. Getting your silver, using silver to get stuff back. There's bookkeeping with Huntsman, but just every time I play a relevant attack, they have to do something, and then I have to say yes or no, and then they have to put stuff on the bottom, right? That all adds up. And then even further, so you're already playing for fatigue, they have to get in the rhythm. But again, if it's people who haven't played against a Huntsman in a long time, or if it's their first time, they're just going to read your cards, and that takes time too, right?
Yep.
They all know what I'll leave no witnesses does, but the number of times I've had, coercion read is high, right? Because, coercive tendencies.
Yeah.
That card is, it's weird because it's an attack reaction that doesn't do any buffing, but it also enables insanity. Or, again, the first time that you hit somebody with Hunter or Hunted, because not only are they likely going to read the card, but then you have to do the contract bit, Then you have to like do the banish, look at their hand, go through their deck. If it's your first time looking through their deck, if you're a good player, you should probably take a look at, you know, roughly what's in there. I'm not saying go card by card, because again, you're playing for time yourself. But you should know what you're looking for each matchup, or if it's decks where they might run something, you just kind of, as you're looking for the other cards to banish, you do that mental note of like, okay, you know, they are not running pummels or whatever, right? So there's just a lot. So this is my long-winded way of saying probably Huntsman, but I would have to feel like I wanted to deal with all of that every game, every round, like under the gun of time. Right.
And especially when you start hitting, again, like matchups like a Fatigue Pleiades at the same, you know, abysmal time.
Yeah.
I think the odds of finishing the match get kind of slim. We did get some look at some of the new Compendium cards. Compendium's out February 13th, if you did not know, and we have the world premiere coming up the week before that. But right now, a lot of the stuff we're seeing some stuff out of the Armory decks, or not the Armory decks, the Silver Age pre-con decks. And I guess long story short, it's kind of interesting, but to me, it feels underpowered. So if you're curious, we have double cross strap, which is a ninja chest. That's in the Phi Precon.
Oh man, I liked the double cross strap.
I think this one's pretty fine. This one's AB1. And instant destroy this to gain a resource. Activate this only if you've hit 2 or more times this combat chain. I think that one's fine. I like that one. There's also Mask of Swarming Claw, which is Arcane Barrier 1. Spell Void X, where X is the number of chain links you control. Just some anti-wizard stuff. On the Icelander side, there's Frostspike, which is an Ice Wizard instant. It's blue, so it's the double Frostbiting from Icelander. And it's create a Frostbite token in an exposed head, chest, arms, or leg zone. The funny part of this is that all of the Blade Beckoner equipment is guard well,
right?
So it doesn't break. Okay. And then we also got Inflame the Firebrand, which I think this is the most interesting card that we've seen so far out of the new cards. It's a 0 cost Draconic Ninja attack. 2 attack, 3 block. When this attacks, if you control 2 or more Draconic chain links, this gets go again. 3 or more, your attacks are Draconic this combat chain. 4 or more, this gets +2. So if it's the 4th or higher, it's 0 for 4 go again. If it's the 3rd or higher, it acts as a brand with Cinderclaw for the rest of the things you're going to do.
Yeah.
It checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it checks a lot of boxes, and it's done in a way that is, I think, it's both versatile and restrictive, and I think that it's one of those things where it's good enough that it will be probably a 0 for 4 at least half the time or more, but it has the like built-in restrictions that it's not likely going to be that with every hand you ever have with Phi, for example, right? So because I was looking at it, like Cinder and Phi make the most sense. I think Phi probably makes even more sense, if only because the Phoenix Flames, I mean, depending on the build, right? But like the Phoenix Flames make it, I think, very easy to get to that 4 spot.
Right, because you have you have a 5 or 6 card hand effectively.
Right. So,
and that makes sense. The other, like, we also got Aetherstorm Wellingtons, which are just big boots, but they're wizard equipment, and they're just AB2. Okay. Tell me that you're giving us Blaze without telling us you're giving us Blaze, is the way I read this.
Or they're just giving us a bunch more Icelander support.
Yeah, but why would Why does Wizard need AB2?
For other wizards?
I guess, but that makes it so that you think that they're going to be supporting Wizard harder, which makes me believe that you're going to get Blaze. There's
do you need to support it harder though? Because like we still have, you know, for as far as Silver Age goes, we have like the full plethora of wizards. So
outside of Blaze, yeah,
right, but
and the Emperor,
but I just mean like in general, like, you know, the Icelanders, the Kanos, we still have to worry about Auxilio, Verdance, etc. So
yeah, I guess they're still Wizard. There's also the coolest name of a card so far out of these decks, Teklo Trebuchet 2000.
Yeah, that name fucks.
That name fucks with the lights on. It's really, really good. 0 cost, blue, block 3, mech attack with boost. When this attacks, the next attack you boost this combat chain, it gets +2, so it's effectively a 0 for 3 in blue. And also just has the single best name. Who doesn't love a trebuchet? Oh, the ruling class. That's right.
No, they don't like guillotines.
They don't like either of them.
A lot of ruling classes also had trebuchets. I'm just saying.
True. They also have this one. This one's intriguing to me. So Gauntlets of Unity, and apparently this is a cycle. This is Warrior Equipment Arms. And they're a temper block 1, but when this defends together with a card from hand, this gets +1 until end of turn. So, you know, you're effectively getting 3 block out of it, but it isn't just for equipment like, you know, the Blade Beckoners will give you 2 block total. This is giving you 3. And I think that that's quite good, personally. So I think there's a headpiece. I think this is a full cycle of Unity equipment, and that I think is very, very good for Silver Age personally. Like making it so that you're not defaulting to best in slot Blade Beckoner across the board, I think is good for the format, because that's kind of the default right now is Blade Beckoner across the board.
Yeah, or at least some level of Blade Beckoner. I think that's the biggest thing, is that yes, there's a chance that like some of the heroes will just be running like a 4 of the Blade Beckoner, but most of the ones I've seen, there's at least like 1 or 2 class pieces that are still good enough to run. Or
Garland of Spring or whatever.
Right. You know? So I don't know. I was less down on the Icelander card than you were, but also I recognize like it's a blue, so like
it gives a frostbite anyway.
It just does whatever I need it to do, you know?
So now that we've seen kind of the power, you know, some of the power level, because we've seen 4 decks now. You can watch the gameplay videos on Flesh and Blood's YouTube. There was Alex Norville versus Samuel Byrne, and then Aiden against Liv. So we've seen effectively 4 of the decks and how they play. I'm underwhelmed by some of the power level on them, which leads me to believe that the curation that's going to happen ahead of Silver Age going live effectively is going to be very heavy-handed.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe as well. Not to say that the like intro decks aren't, you know, guaranteed
good
to be, you know. No, I was just gonna say I don't know that they're guaranteed to be a barometer of exactly everything, but they have said that they would like them to at least be out of the box competitive. You know, they don't have to be 100% fine tuned, but they need to at least hold their own. And one of the things, as I was kind of paying attention, that I kept thinking about was like some of the decks as they exist today still are like head and shoulders above a bunch of that. And I was really, now maybe this is also just like unfair to Dorinthia, but I was really thinking about it with the Dorinthia. Like I was trying to imagine the Dorinthia deck that's in the video playing into one of the Guardian lists that is floating around. And I just say Guardian because it doesn't matter which one it is. They're all running, you know, some of them are upwards of like 16 or 20 of the block cards, right?
Right. All the block fours.
Well, they're like all the block fours, but I've seen ones that are also like legitimately running full copies of the yellow ones as well.
Yes.
So even with those being a block 3, the reason that I mention those is because when you are thinking about, you know, classes like warrior or whatever, you're never winning any of those clashes. You're not like, yes, they have the reprise thing, but if depending on the weapon, like if you're a Kasai, for example, all those block cards are never going to trigger your sabers. You're not getting any of that stuff with, you know, a Bolton or a whatever. So I was just like, man, they at a minimum, I expect something to be done about the Guardian block cards. I don't expect them all to be called, but given that, you know, they already, you know, preemptively got rid of Sync and Fate and whatever because they were trying to bring down some of that power level, I would not be surprised if some of those blocks also got hit. Yeah,
there was a comment in our, I guess we'll get to it in listener questions, but it's, if I were thinking about what goes out of like in the band announcement or in the curation, I think Chain is gone. Like there's no way that hero text is beyond obnoxious. I also don't think Briar lasts, especially if you're going to get rid of the block cards. I don't think that, and I think that you're going to see a Guardian, probably Oldham, eat it along with some of the block cards. And then after that, I don't, who knows? I mean, Ira is really good. Azalea is really good. Lexi is really good. There's still just a ton of viable decks that make sense to just say, probably not that. Bravo Flattering Showman is the poster child for this.
Yep.
So it'd be kind of embarrassing if the community said none of that.
Well, I mean, Aurora.
Yeah, that's a deck. Well, so that's the thing. Like Aurora relies a lot on Majestics that do a thing.
No, I know, but what I mean is like when Aurora was supposed to be the poster child of like player onboarding,
yeah,
and then that happened to Aurora,
one dot
and then it's
didn't
like,
get printed on
by
a
the
card.
way, yep. Then it's by the way, here's Bravo Flattering Showman for those who want to get into like Silver Age and whatever, and they're by the way,
right. Well, we have precedent, I guess.
Yeah.
So, you know, fascinating, but it's going to be really interesting when we get to that point, because that's going to be a very long discussion when we get the final curation. Like, there's going to be a lot to unpack, but I'm kind of here for it. I kind of want to do some listener questions. What do you think? We have a few.
Yeah, we should do that.
Well, the first one's from Vintox. It's back to the diamond, my friends. We have a bunch more heroes since I last asked. If we can make a baseball team with Heroes of Wraith, who's doing what, and why is Chain crying in the locker room? Chain wouldn't be in the locker room. He would be at best under the bleachers. Probably tied to the bleachers. But let's go around the horn here. Your pitcher is KO Armed and Dangerous because he has one arm like Jim Abbott. Your catcher is Valda. You know, nice burly backstop. Hell of an arm. Who do I want playing first? Who's most likely to be a good left-handed bat. I think I want Victor playing first.
You.
Yeah, well, is Nepo babies get to play first base.
I mean, he does strike me as a lefty.
He sure does. I think I'm putting Breyer at second and Aurora at short. Get that nice little lightning double play combo. Who do we put third?
Betsy.
Betsy's playing the corner?
Yep. But she's also fourth in the batting order because she brings log.
She's got log, so she's hitting cleanup. I was thinking Betsy would be our DH.
I mean, could be, but I feel like if she can't get respect in the game, she can get respect in our hypotheticals. That's where I'm at, so.
I'm thinking like...
Also, I think our DH should be somebody who can steal bases. I think that's where Chain belongs.
Oh, if we want a base stealer as a DH, I want Ocilio playing center. Like big construct that's real fast. Can climb up a wall or float up a wall. And that can hit leadoff. Like you can put you have Aurora hitting leadoff and then play Ocilio in ninth as like the looping leadoff hitter. Could do that.
Yeah.
I think I'm putting Reinar in right. I think I'm putting Bravo in right and Reinar in left. But that third base is where I'm stuck.
That's why I say Betsy.
Maybe. I mean, our utility bat is Kasai. Yeah, maybe Betsy. Maybe I'm okay with Betsy. Maybe we'll just do Betsy. Who's our closer?
For pitching?
Yeah, who's our closer?
KO.
No, KO's our starting pitcher.
Oh, I figured it'd be the closer because didn't want to wear out the only arm he's got.
Like I said, I'm giving him the Jim Abbott spot. Like he's a starter.
Okay.
Who throws 100-mile-an-hour gas? Like who throws? Is it Levia? Like is that our closer? Like an intimidating monster on the mound, throwing throwing heaters.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not coming up with better.
I'm imagining that it's probably somebody like Dio.
I think Dio's middle relief.
I mean, could be, but I
think Bolton and Dio are middle relief.
I was trying to think of like who would have something that's just like uncanny but short-lived, right? So for me, it's like she comes in, she boosts.
Syndra's our closer.
Yeah, I could see Syndra too.
Yeah, Syndra's throwing hot fire. Syndra's our closer.
Yeah.
Okay. There, we're set. We're all set. There you go. We've done it. We've revisited the question. Chain is no longer in the locker room crying. We're back, baby. Next one's from Captive Goat. Okay, so I am a warrior simp. We know. Which means I'm going to play Hala. Okay. However, she seems ripe for cute little puns like Hala you today when you sit across from your opponent. Could you workshop some more so we are prepared for this new hero?
Yeah, that one's easy. So when you sit down across from your opponent and they're like, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Logan. What are you playing today? You just look them dead in the eye and you go, holla!
Or you make the holla back girl.
And then you play the Missy song. Right? Like you have to have it queued up on your phone.
So I would play Tupac Holler If You Hear Me. That's where I would go with it.
Yeah, I just need more excuses to listen to Missy.
Sure. Or Nelly, Country Grammar.
Oh God, it's getting hot in here.
No, that's that different song.
I know,
but what else can we workshop with Hala? Are you are you eating halal anymore? I guess you can make a dietary joke. And halal, Um, what else?
Apparently, hala means still in Turkish.
Yeah, I can't do much with that. I feel like I don't have much for that.
Oh, there it is. I was like, I feel like this name has been used somewhere in my nerddom before, but it was my brain's not braining because I'm not feeling well. It's the home planet of the Kree.
Oh, that's right. It's like, yeah, my day hasn't been going great, so I'm feeling a little blue. That's if you want to deep cut somebody.
Yeah. Who are you playing today? Mary Poppins.
Well, that Yondu wasn't Kree. So that doesn't quite work.
Yeah, I know.
But still funny. Let's move on here. Basically, you have the sky's the limit, but I would always have holla if you hear me.
Big Papa
queued
Pump.
Oh,
Sorry, you said holla if you hear me, and I heard Scott Steiner.
time for some Steiner math, baby. To all our freaks
all right,
out
now
there.
I'm in. Now I'm in.
You're
Holla if
snapped
you
in.
hear me.
All right.
Yep, I'm playing holla. That sold it for me. I got the siren going in my head.
Sure.
Freaks and peaks,
Freaks
baby.
and peaks, baby. Because you only have a 33 1/3 chance of beating me at sacrifice. And
Then you add Kurt Angle. Imagine every time you're trying to figure out combat math, you're like, but then you add Kurt Angle.
then you had Kurt Angle.
And that's
And
just
he
every
knows
time
he
you play.
can't beat me. I wonder if your opponent would just fall out of their chair at that point. Just be like, done. You Steiner math them out of the game. I need to do this at some point.
Yep. No, that sold me. I'm gonna play Hala now. Like I'm gonna buy the deck. I'm in.
You're sold.
Yeah.
All right. Lock it in. Next one's from Justin S. Question. Yes, I know it is the question channel. Well, good. Every set but Crucible has given us a new adult hero. Do you think Penn will continue the trend and surprise us with a new adult hero, or maybe a lot of new adult heroes? Adult Blaze, I think, is coming in Penn. I think Adult Blaze is in Compendium. Like, I'm also outside thinking maybe Adult Shiana.
I was gonna say Adult Shiana is my hope.
I really would love Adult Shiana. I am a large Shiana simp. And like second only to Kasai, really. And I would absolutely love having an Adult Shiana to play with.
Yeah, Adult Shiana would be really fun.
But I definitely think you get Young Blaze and Adult Blaze. I think you get Dorinthia Quicksilver Prodigy at rare. And
or the question is, do you think that we ever get Adult Emperor?
No. I mean, what would you do with an ability that makes sense? Print rare Command and Conquer?
Well, no. Like, it doesn't need to be adult for Silver Age, so...
Sure, but...
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, since we're moving to Silver Age and Emperor is... Like, you could make the argument that someday maybe they make Shiana legal in the format or whatever, right? Like, not likely, but...
very unlikely.
That one is closer than Emperor, whose text box is essentially blank at that point. So
no, it's essentially it's not blank. It is actively bad.
Yeah.
So, but I do think you get Adult Blaze, and an outside shot of Adult Shiana. That's my thought. Next one's from AJ. Why does LSS hate Warrior?
What if we get Adult Terra?
I would take an Adult Terra.
I would actually kind of like Adult Terra.
Yeah. I'm in on Adult Terra.
I want to play Pump and Thump.
You can do that in the privacy of your own home, sir. Adult Terra is good. I like Adult Terra. But AJ did ask, why does LSS hate warrior?
I don't personally think that LSS hates warrior. I think that LSS is careful with warrior, and those are two different things. And the reason I say that is because the warrior class's offensive output is built around weapons. You run into a scenario where if the weapon package is too strong, it's also probably just too consistently strong, because you always have the weapons available. Mm-hmm. Some classes, like, you have to get the right attacks, or you have to do some sort of setup turn, right? Like, you've got to get the right non-attacks to go with your attacks. You've got to, set up a channel mount heroic and then do a big pop off next turn. You've got to arsenal your crippling crush XYZ, right? Like, there's all of these different things. But when the crux of what you're doing is weapon based, then your floor is, in my opinion,
higher,
significantly higher than the other classes. So the only way that you keep that in balance is you also have to reduce the ceiling. But the problem is, in a skill-based game like Flesh and Blood, games are won and lost by people who know how to find that ceiling and maximize their math, essentially. So it's just a really rough spot to be. I don't think that they hate warrior by any stretch. I just think that it's also, in my opinion, the hardest class to balance. Like, I think that it's probably harder to balance warrior in practice than it even is for like wizards or ally classes or whatever, because ally classes, there's at least interactivity. And, again, if you need to like ban certain things to make adjustments or whatever, like, you can target certain cards. With wizards, you can target combo pieces, you can print more AB, there's whatever. But warrior just has one of the best, I'm just going to say, it has the best equipment suite in the game, regardless of which version you're playing. Like, all their equipment is banger. Mm-hmm. And then if your class is built around things that are always on the board from the start of the game,
it's an inherent advantage.
That's a conundrum. So, that's my opinion. I don't think that they hate warrior by any stretch. I just think that it is very hard to get right without just being silly.
I agree in a vacuum. There is the identity of warrior being equipment based does exactly what you said it is. Like, your best cards start on the field by miles in a lot of cases. Looking at you, Valiant Dynamos, and being able to lean on and rely on those cards every game creates a very high floor. That doesn't mean that they can't give us some more 0-for-4s, for fuck's sake. Everybody else has them. Why can't we have 0-for-4s? We have Slice and Dice and Red and Blade Flurry. For swords, that's all we get. Now, daggers, you don't get Slice and Dice anymore. But at least I don't think so. I guess I don't know the text of the cards I play all the time, do I? But I swear that one says sword. If not, I need to start playing daggers more. It's sword. Okay.
I was gonna say,
or no, sword or dagger. It actually says sword or dagger.
It's funny that you say sword or dagger, because I was literally about to say, all I know is it doesn't say axe.
It does not say axe. That much is true. That I can tell you right off. It does not work with axes. But it is sword or dagger. I've never actually looked at that. So Dagger Warrior gets plenty of 0-for-4s. But Kasai's ability, that reduces sword attacks, makes it so daggers don't really play well. But her other ability, her once per turn ability, is just weapon. So there is that, but Blood Follows Blade is sword. Blood on her hands is one-handed weapon, so that still works. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons to not play daggers with Kasai specifically. But it'd be interesting to play like maybe Dagger Bolton. Maybe that's a wild one. I guess I don't know. Haven't played with it, but I don't think LSS hates warrior. I guess that's the long and short of it. I just agree with you that balancing that, it's like balancing Brute, right? Brute doesn't have on hits, but most of their on hits are death because big number go burr.
Right.
So when people are like, oh, Brute sucks because they don't have any on hits, it's like, yeah, but 18 is a big number. And that goes a long way to you not living. So give me your hand and still take damage, or take almost half your health.
Or what if you give me your hand and you don't even like have a choice whether you wanted to or not?
Also, that intimidate's a hell of a drug. Next question is from Salty Seacat. Will this be the least attended U.S. Nationals? So this question stems from everything that's going on in Minneapolis right now, with ICE murdering citizens in the street. Nationals is a few months away. We don't know how any of this ends. What we do know is, as of right now, as we're recording, there has been reports of a reduced presence in Minneapolis. There's a thing about Midwesterners, and it's we don't really take shit from anybody. If you push us, we do push back. And you're seeing that in Minneapolis. You saw that in Chicago. You would see that in St. Louis. You've seen it in St. Louis before. You would see it in Kansas City. You'd see it in Des Moines. We've seen it in Des Moines.
I would also say it's not the sort of thing that the federal government can wait out and wait for it to cool down. Because another thing that I would say about Midwesterners is we are incredibly nice folks. Like, you hear it from anybody who travels here, even other parts of the country. Like, when my wife and I will go to California or whatever, they'll say, like, we know you're from the Midwest because just of the way that you act, right?
Sure.
However, we are like that until we're not, and then we hold grudges like I think no other region of the United States.
With till our dying breath. We may forgive you on our deathbed.
Maybe I would give like the people up in like Maine, they can probably hold a grudge as well as us, but just when you think about like Sophie and I don't remember what special it was, but it was cracking me up. We were watching a comedy special and it was in Detroit, right? And obviously whatever. And they were asking somebody in the audience something, and they said that they were from Toledo, and I said they're about to boo. And like clockwork, like the place erupted. And the comedian was so taken aback that like they started asking questions, and every time the word Toledo was said out loud, the place like booed hard. Like you'd think it was a sporting event. And if you're not familiar, it's because Michigan fought a war over Toledo. It's the reason we have the Upper Peninsula. And I would argue that we got the way better end of that deal.
Yeah,
however,
loser got Toledo.
However, we still, like, nobody is alive that had anything to do with that, but we still hold that grudge. It's just like ingrained in you here, right? Like, I would say, everyone talks about football being like huge part of Southern culture. And I'm not saying it's not, right? Friday Night Lights in Texas is definitely a thing. But let me tell you, I've seen more people nearly die at like Midwestern rivalry games, whether it's U of M, Ohio State, even just like Michigan, MSU. Like when both those teams weren't even any good, I used to work field security at MSU in my early 20s. And like I saw attempted murder. Several times.
So there was always, in my hometown, there's a public school and a Catholic school, and they played each other in football every year. And as a tradition, during the first half of the varsity game, the freshman teams would meet out in the parking lot and beat the ever-loving shit out of each other. So, like, yep, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's accurate, and we said a lot of the same things about Worlds in Philadelphia and that it would be poorly attended, and it wound up that room was full the entire time. Now, some of that could be room size, but it was a pretty big venue still, and it was absolutely full to the point that the artists were out in the hallway. So eventually there's going to be some crux point where Flesh and Blood, playing Flesh and Blood is not worth the security risk potentially along with it. But so far we haven't seen it. And quite honestly, the federal government is finding out a little bit about the Midwest right now. And it's going to be interesting because I guess the next place they're trying to go is Milwaukee. It ain't going to go any better there.
Yeah, somebody that I work with, I'll put it that way, made a joke that they were finding out that Minneapolis is in the winter is to them what Russia in the winter was to the Germans.
Kinda.
But like, jokes aside, here's to answer the actual question. I don't think it'll be the lowest attended ever, just because the game has grown so much that even with the attrition that I fully and wholeheartedly expect, I still don't think it will be the smallest.
No.
Like that's where I'm at. I do think that the attendance will be impacted. I do think that if things were different, that it would be better attended, but I don't think that it will be diminished to be the smallest, in part because the game has grown, but also in part because it's not like Worlds where you have international folks that are canceling coming. Like, it's nationals, right? So unless it was somebody who like qualified in Canada but wanted to come to the US one, which does sometimes happen, outside of that, like, we're all here anyway. And maybe I'm just immune to it because I'm in the Midwest, and while we're not being bombarded like Minneapolis, ICE has been in my state for a while. We have local groups and community stuff honestly really popping off. I don't want to say obviously like too much more, but like, we're on top of it. But they're definitely in Detroit, they're in Lansing, they're in a bunch of the suburbs of Detroit. A couple of the local police municipalities are working with them, some are not working with them. Like, it's a whole thing. And so like, at this point, like, me dealing with it here and then me dealing with it in Minnesota is like, it's half done, half dozen one,
six one, half dozen the other. Yes.
Whatever. Yeah. My brain's not braining, but I think that there's a lot of people that will still go.
Yeah, I agree. And again, we're a few months out. And honestly, if we're talking about the city, Minneapolis is an awesome summer convention city because it's not blazing hot there most of the time. It's a walkable city.
I mean, I was about to say it's also not a bad winter city either, just because the skywalk is outstanding.
The skywalk is incredible.
They have my favorite skywalk.
You can get anywhere.
Yeah.
You can legit get anywhere. Next one's from Greg. Have y'all played Escape the Dark Tower? If so, talk to me about it. So I had not. When I got this question, at what time did Gregory decide to feed this to us tonight? He asked that question at 7:47 p.m. tonight, which was about 2.5 hours ago. So I bought it on Steam. It was $2. I played for about 40 minutes leading up to the show. And I'm at 2 jewels in the center console. Think I already know how to get to the third one. It's not bad. But if this is kind of the limit of it, and if that third jewel is the end of it, then
Did he really mean that and not the board game?
He did mean, I'm pretty sure he meant the video game. The board game is insane. And that's Return to Dark Tower.
Well, there's Escape the Dark Castle, and then there's Return to Dark Tower.
There's also Escape the Dark Tower.
Right.
Which is a $2 Steam game.
Yeah.
And like I said, for $2, sure. My normal metric for games is It has to be, I have to pay $1 or less per hour I've played it. So most games, like video games, easy. I pay $60. I'm playing 60 hours almost every time. Board games gets trickier because they have to hit the table, have the people to play, things like that. But over time, usually accomplish it. So this one, it would need me to not solve the rest of it in an hour and 15 minutes. And I don't know that there's any replayability. I haven't really looked into it, but it's an interesting little puzzle game. You solve some, pseudo-intuitive, pseudo-non-intuitive, puzzles that are visual. It's like playing a Euro board game as an escape puzzle game on Steam. That's what it seemed like. Cheese plus hole equals mouse and key. There's no words. It's just stuff. And, there's a lot of visual hints and visual clues and stuff like that. Ultimately, it's fine. I think it's fine. Now, if you're talking about the board game with the giant tower, electrical tower, that is connected to an app on your phone that routinely tells you to go fuck yourself, that game is gas. I have played a ton of that game. Dom, local hero in our Discord, and also, friend of mine from here in Iowa, owns a copy, and we'll bust that thing out. And it is fun as hell. Especially when it's like, oh, look, 3 black skulls just rolled into this region. Well, guess we're going to die now. So it is wildly fun. I would recommend that one to pretty much anyone. So you've played that one, right?
I have, but it has been a long time. The last time I
played the original
pre-pandemic. Oh yeah, for sure. It would have been
the one from the 80s.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That one didn't have the app control, but
no.
There's a new version where the tower is Bluetooth to your phone.
Oh.
It's really good. They improved
every board game is doing that lately. Like, I was blown away that there's like Monopoly that has like app stuff now, and it like tracks the money, and I'm just like, where's the fun in that? Like, if I can't cheat as the banker,
right? If I can't, like, that's part of the
Monopoly experience.
Your privilege as the banker is sneaking funds. This is America.
Or shorting funds.
Funds, like, whatever.
Everyone looks for you to stick, an extra 100 under your board, but nobody's paying attention when you give them like $5 less.
Yeah, you just skim a little. It's fine. But yeah, that's kind of ew. Lately, we've been playing a lot of Aeon's End. I don't know if you've ever got to play Aeon's End, but
no,
it is a monster of a game. And it's like a cooperative deck builder, boss battler thing. It's really, really fun. But it's also like they have, when we bust out Aeon's End, there's a stack of character tiles like this big to pick from, like 100 characters deep. And then there are a bunch of bosses too. When we do it for like just the cards, Dom is busting out 2 full wooden briefcase sized boxes to figure out like cards for the market and stuff like that. I mean, it's a lot of variation. Never played the same game twice. Like, it's exactly the kind of thing. And then there's Keep the Heroes Out, which was referred to as a game for babies by the people in the Airbnb because they're just playing on family mode. Play it on hard mode once. It's not a baby game for babies. It's hard. Oh no, I lost Darick. Well, that'll happen.
I miss playing Splendor.
Anyway,
I used to play that.
I have to figure out. Oh, hey, he's back. Hi, Darick.
Oh, hey. I was just saying I miss playing Splendor, but I think my internet flipped out.
It did. And
the screen went white on my side, and I didn't know if it was going to be like the last time that happened where I could still hear you or not, but...
Well, I'll have to figure out how that works with editing. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
It wasn't like it was a long period.
Well, no, it was.
It was like, if I had to describe it, I would say it was like this long.
I knew you were going to do it too. It's still funny. Last one is from Jim Neben. So $20 ticket is all marketing, right? How many bans need to happen to get these competitive? He's talking about the Sage decks. So the first 4 we looked at, yeah, I think that's probably close to correct. But what we saw out of the Sage decks so far, the 4 that we've seen, would get boat raced by the top end of Sage decks right now. Even some of the things that people don't understand are incredible, like Scurv. People don't realize that Scurv is insanely good. And things like even things like Fi. Even though Fi was one of the Sage decks that they did do, it didn't seem like it was the most optimal version, probably. No, like they need to do a lot, but I think, we kind of alluded to this before, that this points to heavy curation that's about to happen. So whatever your favorite Sage deck is right now, it probably is not the same deck on February 10th or whatever it is when they do the BNR for Silver Age. It is not going to look the same.
Or, hear me out, what if the marketing is technically correct? Like, as an American, now, again, let me start by saying I do not think that this is LSS's intent, because they are a New Zealand corporation run by amazing Kiwis. However, as an American, I am trained to know that when I see anything from a corporation here, that is the bare minimum that they are legally required to say, right? So,
yeah.
Saying something like it's a $20 ticket, well, yeah, sure. You can register an event with that deck that you paid $20 for.
Good luck.
Right? Like, I hate our advertising laws here.
Yeah, they're not good. Anyway, I think you should probably thank some patrons and get out of here now that I have to edit, actual video. I have to do work.
You don't have to.
Well, kind of do.
You could leave it in.
Leave what in?
You could leave it in.
Okay, well, sure. But let's thank
for our Utah listeners. Just let it soak.
Just let it soak. We're going to thank some patrons. Let's thank our associate producers. We have Andy Sindra, Anthony Ejor, Jacob Aldoris, Octothorptopus, and Sofsky, who is definitely soaking, Heiner and Sleep Coma. We have our executive producers on up. We have Blaze Storm, valued member of the Patreon, Diana, John, and Charlie, our possum supporter, is the Delusian data analyst. And our Chamber of Charcoal, Vintox, you need to get on the show. You have a computer now. I should know. I got it to you. Matt, you're welcome back anytime. Same with Brandon. Dorte, the Hammer. It's got a lot of run this episode. And then our ceiling fan, the tippy top, the peak of Fapdom, Polish guy Rich. If you're interested in becoming a member of our Patreon, you go to patreon.com/fleshandpod. Link is in the show notes. Pick a tier, and you're on your way. You can support the show. We'll resume After Darks at some point in time, but Jesus, is everybody busy?
Yeah.
It's wild. If you need to get a hold of the show, you can send us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. You can find us on BlueSky. Just search Flesh and Pod, or join our Discord. Links in the show notes. It's free. You don't have to be a member of anything. You can just click the thing and come on in. If you're still listening or watching at this point, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Would be nice. Just doing us a favor. It doesn't cost you anything. You just do it. Darick, where can they find you?
You can find me at the on-demand events at US Nats. I will be at the one where round 1 is at the federal building. We can protest and play. We'll set up a table. We'll yell slurs and play a game of Fab. That's where you can find me.
Slurs?
Yeah.
Jesus. Slurs.
Yeah. Crackers need to hear that they're
okay.
crackering.
Okay. I mean, crackers do need to hear DB crackering. But, yeah, I guess that's our show for this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Be sure to tune in next week. We'll probably be giving out the instructions to win entry into the Nerd Rage Gaming 5K event on March 14th. Until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being. And
a friend. Travel down the road and back
again. Yeah. Your heart is true.
You're a pal.
Your pal and a confidant.
And if you threw a party.
I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm not doing the whole thing.
Or
we just... I hate you so much. Bye, everybody.